Hi, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Mateo Lewis, and recently, about 3 weeks ago, I posted a video analyzing what bacon can do from the musical Waitress, and people seem to like it, and I got a lot of positive feedback, and people asking me to do another one. So I was wondering what I should do, and someone suggested The Last 5 Years, which I think is one of the most amazingly written and underappreciated musicals in the history of musical theater. So I'm going to be deconstructing one of my favorite songs from The Last 5 Years, which is "If I Didn't Believe in You." So The Last 5 Years, if you don't know the musical, it's about this couple, Jamie and Kathy, and their relationship of 5 years, and how it starts and how it crumbles into a disastrous ending. And it's told. It's just a two-person show, and it's told in chronological order by solo songs. So it's Jamie starts at the beginning of the story, and his first song is the first moment they meet, and his last song is when he leaves her, and then Kathy actually moves backwards through the story in her song. So her first song is called "Still Hurting," and she sings it right after Jamie broke up with her. And her last song in the show is "Goodbye Until Tomorrow," which she sings after their first date. So it's a super interesting structure, and Jason Robert Brown wrote the score loosely based on his own life and his own relationship with his first wife. So it's very, very rich and very intricate and amazing. So "If I Didn't Believe in You" comes close to the end of the show. It's Jamie's song, and it's the last song he sings before "Nobody Needs to Know," which is the song where he cheats on her. So it's the last song before he starts cheating on her basically. And he's a big famous author, and Kathy always wanted to be a big famous actor, but never really found any success. But Jamie found huge success right away from the first book he wrote, and Kathy's always kind of resented him for that. So Kathy doesn't want to go to this party. Kathy feels like in "See I'm Smiling," which happens around the same time chronologically, which is Kathy's song from the beginning of the show. In that song, she kind of gets on Jamie's case about how he's never with her, and he's always hanging out with a bunch of people he doesn't even know at these parties, networking for his book that he wrote. So this is Jamie trying to convince Kathy to come to the party with him. And it starts, "There are people, and they are publishing my book, and there's a party that they are throwing. And while you've made it very clear that you're not going, I will be going. And that's done. But what's it really about? Is it really about a party, Kathy? Can we please for a minute stop blaming and say what you feel? Is it just that you're disappointed to be touring again for the summer? Did you think this would all be much easier than it's turned out to be? Well then talk to me, Kathy, talk to me. If I didn't believe in you, we'd never have gotten this far." So this is where the melody comes in, the main melody. "If I didn't believe in you." So there's a couple things about this melody that I want to kind of point out. The first is that the title of the song is "If I Didn't Believe in You." If I didn't believe in you. Kathy's getting down on herself for the fact that she hasn't had a lot of success. Like he says, to be touring again for the summer in the movie version with Jeremy Jordan and Anna Kendrick. I love Jeremy Jordan. In the movie version, they changed the lyric to, "Is it just that you're disappointed to be going again to Ohio," where she does like summer stock theater. But basically she's not doing as well as she wanted to. You know, she's doing tiny little summer stock theater in Ohio and she's away from her husband, which really is hard for her. It's not as hard for him. But the first thing is that he's saying, if I didn't believe in you, as if like him believing in her is more important than her believing in herself, I think. And I don't think he's intending to convey that message, but I think that's the aspect of his character that comes across when he says that. If I didn't believe in you, we'd never have gotten this far. Also, this is so cool! This is one of my favorite things that Jason Robert Brown does. These chords that are happening underneath this, you'll recognize them if you know the show. You'll recognize them. They happen at the very beginning of the show. Those are the same chords in a different key at the beginning of Jamie is over and Jamie is gone, which is Still Hurting, which is the song that Kathy sings after Jamie breaks up with her and leaves her. So Kathy is hearing in her head, she's hearing the words, you know? That's how musically he communicates that she's hearing the words that Jamie said to her in this moment. I think that's brilliant, because these are the chords. We'd never have gotten this far if I didn't believe in you and all of the 10,000 women you are. If I didn't think you could do anything you ever wanted to, if I wasn't certain that you'd come through somehow, if I didn't think you could do anything you wanted to. The fact of the matter is, Kathy, I wouldn't be standing here now. If I didn't believe in you, we wouldn't be having this fight. If I didn't believe in you, I'd walk out the door and say, Kathy, you're right, but I never could let that go. Knowing the things about you, I know things when I met you 4 years ago, I knew. It never took much convincing to make me believe in you. So, this whole verse, he's saying things that are, on the surface, really sweet and heartfelt, you know. I never could let that go, knowing the things about you I know. But if you really listen to it, it's more about him seeing potential in her for success, you know, and how he's driven so much by his own success, and how he thinks that him believing in her is like he's doing her a kindness, almost like he is being generous with her, and he is giving her, and oh, aren't you lucky to be with me, Kathy, because I'm so amazing, and you know, this is the subtext of the whole show, and that's what ends up kind of screwing the relationship up, is Jamie's just an arrogant son of a bitch, and that comes through really well. It's really smart that what Jason Robert Brown does, especially in this song, because Jamie is more of an outward asshole in other songs, but in this song, it's so telling that when he's trying to say something nice and supportive, he's only saying it, A, to get what he wants, which is to get Kathy to come to this party with him, and B, it has such this undertone of I'm better than you, you know, and of that arrogance. I think that's so smart. So then it goes, it never took much convincing to make me believe in you. We have these chords again, and then it goes into the bridge. Don't we get to be happy, Kathy? At some point down the line, don't we get to relax? So here we go into, we've been in F major this whole time. We're now in B flat major. So he changes the key without really us noticing. he changes the key center. Don't we get to be happy, Kathy? At some point down the line, don't we get to relax? There's the B flat without some new chorus to push me yet further from you. Side note, surus means like hardship or struggle or strife. I'm assuming that it has some sort of Hebrew root because Jason Robert Brown is very verbal about the fact that he's Jewish in every musical he writes. Parade, you have Leo Frank sing about how like these Jews are not like Jews, and then you have in this Jamie Wellerstein sings about there's a whole song called Shik's a Goddess about the best thing about Kathy is that she's not from Hebrew school. So Jason Robert Brown is very puts a lot of the fact that he's Jewish into his musical, and he's like, hey, in case you've forgotten, I'm Jewish. And the only other musical I've ever heard that uses the word surus, because that's such a weird word, the only other musical I've ever heard is Falsettos by William Finn, who is another composer who puts a lot of "Hi, I'm Jewish" in his musicals. In Four Jews in a Room Bitching from the musical Falsettos, it goes, then the Red Sea split before us, no more Taurus, we got our miracle. Anyways, side note. With a Taurus to push me yet further from you. If I'm cheering on your side, Kathy, why can't you support mine? Why do I have to feel I've committed some felony, doing what I always swore I would do? So you can learn a lot about a character if a good writer is writing it. They intentionally place the high notes, on the word that they place them on. Here, the highest note in the whole song is that G from "If I'm cheering on your side, Kathy, why can't you support mine?" He hasn't been very supportive of Kathy this whole time, and yet still, the biggest thing that he's asking her for, the highest moment of emotion, the highest note that he sings, the point kind of, the thesis statement of the whole song is, why can't you support me? Why aren't you supporting me? As if she's not supporting him enough. And as if he's doing everything he possibly can for her. Like, the way that Jason Robert Brown makes Jamie seem like an asshole by having Jamie say really heartfelt things is so smart and interesting. Because I think it's really telling the way that people, the things that people say when they're trying to be nice is how you can determine who's a real asshole, I think. Which is really interesting that he's doing that here. If I'm cheering on your side, Kathy, why can't you support mine? Why do I have to feel I've committed some felony, doing what I always swore I would do? I don't want you to hurt. I don't want you to sink. Listen to that chord. But you know what I think. I think you'll be fine. Just hang on and you'll see. But don't make me wait till you do to be happy with you. Will you listen to me? And there's that high G again. Will you listen to me? On will you listen to me? No one can give you courage. No one can thicken your skin. I will not fail, so you can be, I will not fail, so you can be comfortable, Kathy. I will not lose because you can't win. And there we have those chords again. There. So, there, no one can give you courage, no one can thicken your skin. I will not fail, so you can be comfortable, Kathy. So on that line, there's a saying that the character can lie, but the music can't lie. Like whatever the music is doing is what the character is really feeling. So you can tell kind of when the character is saying something that maybe goes against what they feel or goes against their morals, when the vocal line clashes with the accompaniment, because you have, I will not fail so you can be comfortable, Kathy, and he's singing an A over that G7 chord. So you have that like that clash, which isn't in the accompaniment and it's only in his vocals. So you can interpret that how you want. But I feel like he thinks that he shouldn't be, and this is my, interpretation of his character, but he feels like he shouldn't be saying this, he shouldn't need to have this conversation with Kathy anymore than he's already had it, probably a billion times, you would assume. And then you have the same chords again. I'll not lose because you can't win. Only now, we're in a lower key. And often, musical theater composers, there'll be for the last chorus, you'll be in the F, and then there'll be a key change up. But what Jason Robert Brown does is, without you really noticing, because he moves so seamlessly between the keys, he's actually moved the key down. We started in F major, through the bridge we went to B flat, and then now we're down in E flat. So there's a reason that he's bringing that key down, Jamie is trying a different tactic, he's trying to be like, hey, like, I love you, don't you wanna... Because he's been yelling high G's at Kathy. He's tried that, didn't work, He's tried saying, I believe in you. You can be successful if you believe in yourself, or if I believe in you. So why can't you support me being successful? He's tried all these different tactics, but now he's trying the same thing with a little bit softer, a little bit lower in energy, and hence the lower key signature. He goes, if I didn't believe in you, then here's where the travelogue ends. That line has never made sense to me. If I didn't believe in you, then here's where the travelogue ends. I'm not sure if that's Jason Robert Brown just going for a rhyme, because the next line is, I couldn't have stood before all of our friends. But the past tense, present tense doesn't make sense to me. Does anyone who's a grammar person want to explain what that means in the comments? Because I don't know what that means. If I didn't believe in you, here's where the travelogue ends. If I didn't believe in you, I couldn't have stood before all of our friends and said, this is the life I choose. This is the thing I can't bear to lose. Trip us or trap us, but we refuse to fall. That's what I thought we agreed on. Kathy, if I hadn't believed in you, I wouldn't have loved you at all. Says in the show, he says, now just put on your dress and we'll go. Can you do that for me, please? Please! And then it goes into Kathy's next song. So it doesn't even have really an ending, the song. Anyways, so that's my thoughts on this song. I think it's a masterpiece. I think the chords that he uses, especially in the beginning, are just pretty. These first chords are just so pretty. Jason Robert Brown is really good at writing. The review on the back says, Brown is terrific at writing love without the cornball, which I would agree with. I think that he makes it very human. He makes it very based on character. He doesn't, when Jamie is saying all these love things to Kathy, there's no cliche in it. It's all what Jamie Wellerstein really would be feeling in the moment, and I think that's really interesting. Yeah, so comment, let me know your thoughts on this song. Let me know what I should do next.